I'm so excited. I'm excited to talk to everybody about their movies and their projects and what inspired them to do it. So I'm asking everybody, just give me the title of your film and maybe like a 10-second elevator pitch.
Yeah, it's the title is called I Snuck Into the World Series. It's about a guy, these two guys actually, who sneak into the World Series and they get into a lot of shenanigans. So. Hijinks, shenanigans, and any other creative word you can think of.
Subway Crush, and it's about a girl who has a crush and films this guy without his consent.
Creepy, is it not creepy? You have to watch the movie to find out.
Okay, I love it.
Zoe, it's a magical adventure that takes you all over Europe and it will make you come out of the theater lighter with a big smile on your face. Even if it's cold outside, your heart is going to be warmer.
I love that.
Oh, look at that. See?
So
I was babbling over there. I'm like, it's gonna, life's miserable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great pitch.
So Ready for My Close-Up is a movie about a TikTok influencer who's haunted by the spirit of Norma Desmond from Sunset Boulevard.
Our film's called Marigold. It's a short doc about legacy, inheritance, and what happens to stories whenever we don't ask people the questions we should.
Black Boys Being Beautiful is about what happens in innocence lost when young black boys become young black men and how society treats them. And in spite of that, they still rise and they're still beautiful and they still have joy and love.
Wow, I love that.
It's about invasive strip searches happening inside American prisons, and it's an investigation into whether those should be legal in America.
It's Dad Jeans, and it's the uncharted story of a man who finds out after donating sperm he's got kids, and he invites them to come over and he meets them, and then the arc of just how that navigates.
It tells the story of 4 souls that are trapped in the red light district of Tel Aviv. They're intertwined in sex trafficking and addiction.
Yeah.
Bound by hope, their spiritual journey is about transcending their own personal ghetto.
Okay.
It's a 6-year documentary that we followed of Mrs. Carr. I started it when I was a master's student at Columbia University. Ended it now as a master's student at Harvard University. So in a way, it's an oral history, really. It's an academic piece.
An old-fashioned revenge, love gone wrong tale that I think is kind of missing today, and I hope people will get to enjoy it. So,
mockumentary, James Bond meets The Office. I play James Bond's Nepo baby son who gets a job at the CIA, and it follows all the shenanigans he gets into.
An Australian film about Australian Lebanese brothers who are from an immigrant family, one of whom happens to have Down syndrome and cerebral palsy.
About a girl finding out herself, wondering about the meaning of life, and goes through this whole mental journey of how her life had been and what she wants for her life.
The movie is called Les Trois Valseurs, Waltz for Three in English, and it's about a wealthy woman who picks up a male prostitute and she asks him for more than what he usually sells.
Okay. What was your inspiration for deciding to work on this project?
My inspiration was the boxes of photos from the 90s of my children when they were babies. That I just started going through them last Christmas and just started, like you, having an emotional response about it and said, I have to do something with these photos.
I mean, just that we were there when it started and we had no idea where it was going to go, and there's no other playbook with this, and just to see how you navigate when you find out that you have donor kids, and then after that, how you navigate the moms that are involved. There's just the humanity of it, and just having no story like it, just to be able to be there from the beginning and see that arc was why we were inspired to be part of the story.
I thought I'm making a film about sex trafficking as an issue, but what I discovered are souls, are people that usually, people that are on the streets, people that are in prostitution, people that are drug addicts. Many times people just ignore them. They look at them like air, and that's what I discovered.
We wanted to make a lighthearted film that made people feel good, and we wanted to take people on a journey to ask themselves, what if? And sort of experience magic, because it's always fun to imagine something that if you wish you could have it,
I wrote a script that won a Sundance writing contest, and the prompt was to put a fish out of water and have somebody show up who doesn't normally show up. So I thought, I love Sunset Boulevard. Norma Desmond might show up. And I feel like there's this obsession with fame that everybody has throughout history. And how funny would it be if they could have this sort of meeting of the worlds?
It was. I love revenge stories. I think you can't oftentimes exact revenge in your life, so you can do it through movies and stories like this. And so I thought it'd be interesting to see that kind of sort of point of view of this girl that happens to survive something horrific and then decides to seek revenge.
I was just trying to see how two people could deal with intimacy and kind of coming in with each their own baggage. And I love working with actors, so it was also just about exploring that with two incredibly talented performers.
Okay, so the story started from during quarantine time while we are all locked down, and kind of a point I feel like I'm rotting inside my room.
How do you want people to feel after watching your film?
I'm gonna let you answer that.
Okay, sure. Well, I think what people get away from the film is it starts out in a certain way, and you don't really know where it's going to go. And I think at the end of the film, you feel quite melancholic. You feel like mixed, and I like that ambiguity that you feel at the end.
You know, it's like that anything is really possible, and life is a journey, and you learn to know yourself better and to love your flaws no matter what.
I love that.
Well, I want people to tell other people about the film, encourage them to watch it. It is actually a call to action film, and it's not just from one culture of people, it's for all. We don't know when this is going to knock on our door. And sometimes people are disconcerted because it hasn't happened to them. Don't mean that it won't happen to them.
Yeah, I guess we want people to feel, I mean, first and foremost, it's a comedy. We love comedy. We think we're trying to bring back that like 2000s comedy. And so we want people to see the humor in it, but also hopefully peel back some of the layers of it as well from a more of like an emotional standpoint. Not that it's like a super dramatic project, but at the same time, there's some depth to it, I think. So, but it's through the lens of like a kind of an old school comedy. So it's fun in that sense.
You know, I want them to be able to laugh at themselves, but also to have it be something that they think about deeply, you know, after they're finished laughing at themselves. Do you know what I mean?
I think everything. It's a casserole of feelings. They should feel human. They should feel awkward. There should be funny moments. There should be sad moments. There should be human moments. It's a real kaleidoscope of feelings, and basically at the end, wanting to start discussions from the questions that we introduce. We don't provide the answers. We help inspire dialogue. And so really just like reflecting on all the feelings they had experiencing this interesting, unique story.
Perspective and how quickly we are to jump to conclusions or assumptions just if we've seen like a piece of a story.
Yeah.
And that there's always another side or a whole other that we're unaware of. So I guess after it, I was like, wow, I should slow down. I should be, instead of jumping to conclusions as quick as I do, I should really try and get a full view of the story.
I want people to think more about how you interact with your family and the different moments where you might be frustrated with someone and when you might actually say, hey, you know what, I don't know, I don't recognize enough how much this person is valued.
And as we all know, indie filmmaking is full of challenges. It's very rewarding, but it is full of challenges. So is there anything that stood out to you guys as like, oh, this is a hurdle we got to get over for this project?
I mean, honestly, it was just after 6 or 7 years, we had to figure out like it's continuing to be an interesting story, and there's unique things happen. But we could keep going, and it could be a franchise. But when do we step off and realize we've got a story and we're ready to share it? And that was the hard part, because it just kept getting more and more interesting. And just like, when do we stop? When can we get off this interesting bus?
We are indie filmmakers, so the world of logistics.
The most challenging part for me, and I'll ask you, it was figuring out like when to pause and when to let people sink into the footage and understand what was going on, and then when to talk. Like, it was one thing to tell stories often, but I think the footage is powerful enough on its own. I had to figure out like when to take those breaks.
I mean, it was shot throughout Europe, 4 countries, so that in itself was
As an indie, it's not an easy task to accomplish.
Very small crew, and it was. I think that was the most difficult thing, was traveling. Everything about making movies is difficult, but for this one in particular, I think having to pop around into different countries and sort of understand the terrain for everywhere new with new crew even, because each place we had to get local crew. So
lots of challenges. There were logistical challenges working within docks, the prison bureau in New York State. We at first weren't allowed to go inside. They let us go inside. There's a lot of risk to our subjects who are currently incarcerated.
We had no money. We had no budget.
And it was all shot on an iPhone.
Yes.
That's incredible. Wow. I'm sure that came with like its own set of unique challenges. Is there anything that comes to mind?
You know, it just didn't really feel like we were filming. It felt, we're on our phones all the time, that it felt, or we're video calling or FaceTiming, filming ourselves, whatever it is, that it felt so not like we were filming. You know what I mean? Like when a camera's in front of you versus your iPhone, it's such a different thing. So in a way, none of us were even sort of conscious of it in any way because we're so used to,
Honestly, that must have felt very like free.
It was very free.
I guess scale, right? Like 14 locations in 7 days.
Well, Alec went to prison twice.
Yeah, well, jail twice.
Jail.
So prison is strong. It's not as crazy as prison,
There's
but
a connotation in prison,
I actually met
too.
some really cool guys in there, though.
I feel like there's so much to unpack here,
Oh, yeah.
and we don't have enough time.
Too bad.
I'm flabbergasted. Do I have anything else? Let's see.
Do you want to try our apple? We've been.
we took a couple bites
we've
out
been
of it. It's
pretending. We've
kinda
been fake
gross.
biting it the entire time.
Maybe for a photo op?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. I'll bite the apple for the photo op. We just finished day 1 of Dances with Films, New York City, and we had a great time talking to everybody on the carpet for opening night, Orange Carpet. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to do it all over again, except this time there's 2 carpets.